Well, could the Georgia Bulldogs ever wear all white uniforms? That's something that Kirby Smart talked about during media days with reporters, and it's something I want to just touch on real quick here. This is what Kirby had to say. I think it's pretty obvious what the reason is for having the white uniforms. He says, you do it because you want guys to be excited about changing uniforms and taking pictures on recruiting visits. That's I'm adding that part. He goes on to say they want different looks, and he says Oregon's kind of been the team to go out with 5 or 6 uniforms. To say it would never happen would be foolish. I don't think never is in the vocabulary for anything. We're open to looking at different things and exploring different opportunities, but it's not imminent. So if you're watching this and you wonder what am I talking about, Georgia has white uniforms. Now I'm going to show you. Actually, both of these have. The white uniform is this uniform. It's one they won the national championship with. That's a white top. This is not a white uniform. These are silver breeches. They are the traditional silver breeches that Georgia has worn since 1980. You get a better look with Warren Ericson, actually, but that's a white top with silver breeches. What the players that Kirby was asked about are wearing are all white outfits, even white helmets at times. So it's really a recruiting pitch, a marketing ploy. It's a way to get guys excited in the recruiting world, and I think it's a smart idea. Now, what he's talking about is never imminent, but he won't close the door. In other words, he won't say yes or no, which is pretty common for him. I think that the last time Georgia wore all white was a road game at Tennessee in 1999. So this was Quincy Carter's first year as quarterback. Now that was the last time they wore it. They wore it some before that, but really in 1999 against UCF, the offensive line coach for Georgia had suddenly passed away, and the program wanted to do something to honor him, for lack of a better term. And against it was after the UCF game. Excuse me, it was the LSU game, but it was just after the UCF game, so it was right there at the end of September, and that was a pretty shocking thing to have happen. So of course they wore red at home, and then when they traveled to Tennessee, they wore all white. Now all white with red helmets. So that's not the same as what I'm even discussing. What I'm talking about in this case would be all white, all white, all white. Now, even Alabama, and I don't have an Alabama image here of them in their all whites, but Alabama, their all whites include dark top or dark helmets, the traditional one where everybody gets their own specialized helmet. So, um, I think when you start talking about uniforms, changing of uniforms, changing of anything, I'd be real careful about that, generally speaking. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's something that you can't do. I don't think you want to lock yourself into a situation where you say, "Well, I can't do that." That doesn't work for me because there's so many different possibilities in terms of branding and marketing. But do you really want to change what everybody knows you as? That's the part I would be careful about is if you're ever really tinkering with the uniform in a way that you would not know who Georgia is. That I'm going to tell you a story right after this. When I plug the book real quick, make sure you're picking this up. And we've had a lot of people picking this up lately. If you pick up Dogstruction today, you will get our 2022 preview included in it. There's a couple of ways to get our preview. One, the smartest way is to get the book. You get the book, you get the magazine. The other way is to go to the Red Zone down on Clayton Street or up on Clayton Street, wherever you are. That's not where the arch is, but one block north of the arch. Take a left, you'll see Red Zone. There's a lot of Georgia gear in there. The final way is if you are an annual member of Dog Post, I'm going to mail these to you, the magazine. You are going to get it for free. Okay, so if you're an annual member of Dog Post, um, that is something that you will get in your mailbox. I'm going to mail those out a little bit deeper into August than right now. So there's 3 different ways to get it. There's 2 different ways to get it for free. So, or included with the purchase. So that's the biggest way. That's what I would do. If you're a monthly subscriber to the site, of which there are a lot of y'all, now's the time to upgrade, okay, and lock yourself in for another season of Georgia football, and what an important one it will be. We still don't know um, who will be the quote home team. That's not been designated to that I know of yet, but I'm sure Georgia will be in red. So I'll put it to you that way. Gary Stokan, who runs the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the Chick-fil-A the kickoff game, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, helps. I don't think Gary runs the Hall of Fame, but Gary has done a really good job with the Chick-fil-A franchise. The football franchise has become a very reputable. It's the best, you know, kickoff game there is. Um, and he really likes it when both schools wear dark colors. And so I don't know if Oregon will be in green tops, but my expectation is that they will. So we will see a lot of what looks like Christmas out there in early September. That's my expectation. I don't know that. But when Kirby was talking about 6 different uniforms from Oregon. I think the exact quote, I'll read it one more time. I think it's pretty obvious the reason for having the white uniforms. You do that because you want guys to be excited about changing uniforms and taking pictures. They want different looks. Oregon's kind of been the team to go out with 5 or 6 uniforms. Man, Oregon goes out with more than that. I mean, there are seasons where they're playing. For instance, they'll play 14 games, and their uniform will not match uh, very often. So they can wear at home the green top, and I'm not talking about different tops. I'm talking about different combinations of helmets, jerseys, bottoms. Obviously, shoes is not in the ballpark here, but the different the history of the Oregon uniform is a substantial one. Uh, they did not um, they did not change things for years. They had you know very boring green uniforms, but now they wear green tops with white helmets. They'll wear white, all white with white and silver helmets. They will wear yellow bottoms, green tops, yellow top, white tops. They'll wear all black with pink and silver. There is no rhyme or reason to what Oregon does, and it's fascinating. And they have used that to their marketing advantage. One of the reasons why recruits have been drawn to Oregon, they've even worn pink helmets. One of the reasons why people have been drawn to Oregon, the players, is because of obviously the school's tie to Nike, but also just the ability to be fashion forward. Do not underestimate that in the world of college football. But I'm just looking right here at let's see, that would be 16, 32. This is, I mean, almost 50 different uniform combinations in the modern Duck era, and that's a lot. Now, my guess again is that they'll be in some sort of green tops. Of course, they could be in yellow tops. That would be a primary color as well. But that's something that Gary Stokens really like. I expect the Dogs to be in red. The last time they played in a Chick-fil-A event, they were in black because Gary asked them to be. They were the visiting team that day. So Georgia though has not worn white. Uh, in a while since the Charleston Southern game. If you look at DAWGSTRUCTION, which is a review of the 2021 season, you'll see. I mean, obviously against Alabama, they wore white. Against Michigan, they were in white. Okay, against that doesn't show it. There they are in white. Against Alabama in Atlanta, they were in white. In Atlanta, they used to wear red, but Jeff Collins area hurt, so they are in red. They're in white again. He won't use the color red. So the last time we saw Georgia in red was their final home game, and they went to Tech, Bama, Michigan, and Bama again. 4 straight games where they wore white. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this season here, because of the Clemson and the Florida game, This is the most they've worn white in their entire history. Okay, now that's not reporting. That's just me saying it off the top. And I take these uniforms pretty seriously. Now, most they ever wore red in modern era was in 2015. They wore it 9 times in 13 games. They only played. They even wore red on the road. They wore red on the road against Tech as well as Vanderbilt, and they wore red against the Gators. So they wore it several times then. But it is a marketing opportunity for Kirby, Georgia, everybody. Will Georgia ever mess with their uniforms? Doesn't really seem like it, but they've worn three different tops in Kirby's time. They've never changed the britches that I'm aware of. So they've had red, white, and black. I mean, that's Georgia's colors.